Hello, my name is Shar-Day Ali. Today, I will discuss racial inequity in child protection and foster care and advocate for a SAWUBONA informed approach. Every family deserves to be seen, heard, and evaluated fairly within its cultural and social context. The problem. Racial bias and cultural misunderstanding can influence child welfare investigations, removals, placements, and reunification decisions. When professional judgment is shaped by dominant cultural assumptions, families can experience unequal treatment even when policies appear neutral. Who is most impacted? Black, Indigenous, immigrant, and other racially and ethically minoritized families are especially affected. These concerns can become greater when families are also experiencing poverty, housing instability, language barriers, or limited access to community and legal resources. More than individual bias. This problem goes beyond the personal bias of an individual worker. West and colleagues explain how structural racism can operate through larger systems, policies, and practices, meaning meaningful change must also occur at the organizational level. Whose standard is normal? Cornish explains how Eurocentric standards can become the assumed definition of appropriate parenting and family behavior. When workers evaluate families through one dominant cultural perspective, cultural differences can be misunderstood as deficiencies rather than understood within context. Poverty is not neglect. Poverty can affect housing, food, transportation, childcare, and access to services. But financial hardship does not automatically mean parental neglect. Families experiencing structural hardship may need resources and support rather than unnecessary separation. When family cannot be heard, families also need a genuine opportunity to participate. Without qualified interpreters and understandable information, parents may struggle to understand allegations, services, meetings, and expectations. Language access is essential to meaningful participation in their own case. The cost to birth mothers. Cornish documents how racism, exclusion, unequal professional power, and Eurocentric assumptions can leave birth mothers feeling unheard and devalued. These experiences are especially concerning when professionals are making decisions that can permanently affect their families. The cost to children. The consequences also affect children. Unnecessary or prolonged family separation can disrupt relationships, cultural identity, community connections, and a child's sense of belonging. Protecting children means considering both physical safety and the importance of healthy family connections. The cost of doing nothing. Genosa demonstrates that marginalized youth leaving foster care can experience housing instability, discrimination, limited support networks, and homelessness. Failing to address inequity can therefore affect young people long after their immediate involvement with the foster care system. The unmet need. One major unmet need is meaningful family advocacy. Families need culturally responsive support, language access, and an opportunity to participate in decisions. Independent family advocates can help parents understand the process while ensuring their perspectives are accurately represented. What are we doing now? Child welfare systems already use professional ethics, cultural competency training, anti oppressive principles, and diversity initiatives. These efforts are important, but the continued presence of racial disparity shows that increasing awareness alone has not created sufficient systemic change. Why training alone is not enough. A worker can complete cultural competency training while an agency still lacks equity reviews, independent advocates, and transparent outcome reporting. Training may improve awareness, but Cornish and West demonstrate why anti racism must extend into actual systems and practices. More training. The first policy option is expanding cultural competency and anti racism training. This would be relatively easy and less costly to implement. However, its limitation is that training alone does not require change to actual child fair decisions or accountability. Option two, stronger safeguards. The second option establishes stronger safeguards through interpreters, independent family advocates, racial equity reviews, and public reporting. These measures require additional funding and staff resources, but they provide much greater accountability for decisions affecting children and families. Option three, SAWUBONA. The strongest option is adopting a SAWUBONA informed framework that incorporates these safeguards into a larger systemic approach. SAWUBONA combines anti-racism, intersectionality, family engagement, cultural responsiveness, and organizational accountability rather than treating them as separate initiatives. Sawubona, I see you. Sawubona means I see you. A Cornish explains this approach asks professionals to recognize the whole person within their cultural, historical, family, and structural context. Families become meaningful partners instead of simply subjects of child welfare intervention. The policy change. My recommendation is for state child welfare agencies to require Sawubona informed practice during investigations, assessments, case planning, placement, permanency, and reunification decisions. Child safety remains central while cultural and structural circumstances are formally considered and documented. What change looks like? Implementation should include ongoing anti racism training and supervision, qualified interpreters translated materials, independent family advocates, racial equity reviews, workforce diversity efforts, and annual public reporting. These requirements transform cultural responsiveness from an idea into measurable accountability. Call to action. Ultimately, equity and child safety should work together. Social work calls us to protect children while advancing dignity, cultural responsiveness, human rights, and racial justice. When we truly see families, we can protect children while building a more equitable child welfare system. Thank you for your time.